Okay, we have Roshini Rajkumar, host of the podcast, The Crisis Files. Hey, Roshini, sorry about that.
That's okay. Anything goes in
Anything,
this year's
you know what?
election
Just
cycle.
just like
Yep.
replacing
I
Manchin
changed
for Nikki
genders,
Haley,
all of it. Yep.
just like replacing Manchin for Nikki Haley, replacing Roshini for John Selleck. Sorry about that, Roshini.
Not a problem at all. Not a
Just
problem. But
jump
yeah,
right in there.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's great to be with you both. What I think is interesting and what actually is kind of fun for me watching all of this, and as a strategist and someone who loves to talk about politics, is it just shows us this country, anything really can go. And if you have a dream, you can get out there and you can try. And, if one thing you can always call me, Kevin, is consistent. How long have I been saying we need different options from Biden and Trump?
absolutely.
So I love to see new names pop into the mix. And these are two names we know, but possibly in a new party or in a new office. So I'd like to see what it can inspire others to do. As far as the optics go, because, that's part of what I do in my work, I don't know if, sorry to say it, but two old white guys is the best winning ticket. But I do know that Manchin has been very popular. It's been, maybe it's two names that those out there who don't get too verbal and vocal about their beliefs can say, maybe we have a little more moderation here. And maybe that is attractive to them. So I think it just opens up new ways of thinking for some of us who are really concerned we have two pretty bad options right now if it ends up being Trump and Biden.
Roshini, first of all, let's go have coffee because I love talking about politics too without getting mad at people. So I mean, if you just having to discussing and not being all up in each other's faces. But I do want to ask you this. This is just an observation. To me, Joe Manchin, I mean, you're talking about, this opens it up and it'll be great. But I'm thinking tick tock, the clock is moving here. We need to have, if there's going to be another option, we need to have like a good option coming up pretty fast. And I just don't know. Plainly speaking, I don't know that Joe Manchin has the sex appeal needed to really make a difference as a third party candidate.
Well, you're so right. And partly that is because if we look at his age, he's also in that age bracket that's getting criticized right now. Biden and Trump being criticized because of age and possible memory and all of those kinds of things. The other piece of it is we do live in America. There is supposed to be a process. Not only do we have the parties, but we also have the timely filing when you want to get on a state's ballot. You want to get on these ballots. So the time crunch on that might also be another consideration, especially because we're looking at, it's a whole new party situation. So you have some of the delay that could come from just getting known as this third party out there. So there are a lot of practical points that I'm not sure any new candidate would totally have thought through if they're only throwing their name into the ring in the middle of February.
If you take away the names and you just talk about where people are on the issues, I think an awful lot of people are in the middle. And when I think about it on various issues, it seems like they could be winning arguments. You talk about, say, abortion, and it feels like it's all or nothing with Republicans and Democrats when most people in America feel the first trimester is a place that they're comfortable with. With the border, we talk about how we need workers, but we also need law and order, and it feels like it's all or nothing with Republicans and Democrats. I feel like if you got the right candidate in a third party, they could really be in touch with maybe a majority of the voters.
I could not agree more. The middle is just waiting for some fresh blood, for some inspiration, for the reason to vote. I have been very dismayed myself, Kevin and Maria. I told my husband last week that this might be the first election that I am not going to be able to vote for either names for president if it turns out to be Trump and Biden. Because I will vote, but I might have to leave those circles blank because I just can't ethically vote for either of them. So I think there are a lot of people out there kind of sitting in that same frame of mind where they just want some inspiration. They want hope for the country, and they want someone viable. And it doesn't mean they're un-American. They just don't like the choices we have right now. So it will be very interesting to see who else might pop up. And I really hope the media covers this stuff, Kevin and Maria.
Roshini, and also to be realistic, we all know that all of this runs on donors. You've got to have the money to mount a proper campaign to really to move the needle at all. Do you think a third party is going to be able to really get to the donors and really accumulate the kind of assets that they would need to make a good push to the White House?
It would really be a stretch goal. It would have to be, some sort of angel investor that comes in, that has the clout, has the dough, and can infuse it into a third party or infuse it into some names that matter for them. So the recipe is a very precarious one. Let's put it that way right now. But look, if we go back into American history, don't even have to go that far back. Things happen. You can blow up your speech at the New Hampshire primary. You can, at least when I was a kid, you had an affair and your whole campaign was in the tubes.
Not
now
anymore.
that isn't happening anymore.
Those days are over. Those days are
good
over.
old days are over, Maria.
You could be right. You could be right in the middle of You could be right in the middle of a criminal trial now in the campaign and still be fine.
Right. No, it is there. It would really take a combination of sort of miracle and very strategic planning and money for it to happen. But I think it's possible.
What about this? Because it is a really good story because, like you said, most people don't want Biden or Trump. Like 80% of people don't want Biden or Trump. So for the media, it could be really a good story about this independent or third party. It could be a lot of free media. If, of course, the media is not fixed, you really could get a lot of free media and not have to pay for it. It could work, I would think.
Well, exactly. If we go back in time to running up to the 2016 election, Donald Trump got a lot of free media. He and Melania were on 2020 one night. That was an hour of free airtime, plus oodles of other, maybe close to $1 trillion of free media, if I remember the numbers correctly. So if there is the interest by the media to actually cover potential third party or just alternate candidates to these guys who really ask the questions and really find out about platforms, that number you just said, 80% of the American people are looking for some other option. I would say a smart candidate and their people could really go after that because 80% is a lot. One other thing that I would love to challenge journalists out there to do is to stop treating polls like they are the gospel truth. If we didn't have so much coverage of polls, maybe the middle would feel more empowered to take a risk on a new name, or an angel investor would feel more empowered to do the same.
Absolutely. Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist and host of the podcast, The Crisis Files. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you both.
You're listening to the great voice of the great